Hi everybody, it's Dr. Jensen with CCJ3701 Research Methods in Criminology. So I thought I would do a quick video just to make sure you have everything you need for this class, as well as kind of do a checklist for week 1. So let's go into the course, and this is your course. For some reason the colors get a little brighter when you use Firefox or Safari, but anyway. Right here with week 1, we'll click on that first module, Introduction to Social Research and Statistics. Okay, so you have a little bit of an introduction of what we're going to be doing. And then what I did with this course is I've redesigned it from last semester to be a little bit easier to navigate. So you have your objectives in the first tab. In the second tab you have your readings, which we won't have a lot of those, but just from time to time we'll have some readings. This is a hands-on class. We do things in software most of the time rather than read and then answer questions. And then you have videos. This is probably the most important tab because it has the videos you're going to watch that have lecture. It also has tutorials and help with labs, as well as other things that are going to help you build your final paper for the class. So make sure you spend time on the videos. And my curriculum designer and I have tried to put the minutes next to each video so you can set aside time appropriately to be able to watch those. And the feedback I have received from past students is, yes, watch the videos. They will save you. So build in the time to do your videos, and it'll help you get started right away. Now, as far as assignments go, that's the last tab. And you can see you do have an assignment here, getting started. Now, it didn't have a due date before, but I set a new due date of Wednesday, August 29th to go ahead and get this completed, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. So as far as what you need to complete for this week, I'm going to go to syllabus, and at the very bottom, this is kind of where you can use your checklist to kind of see what you have coming due. So right now, I need a brief introductory video about yourself. And that's due by Sunday at midnight. All of my deadlines are midnight, so you have the evenings to work on things. And then you can see I do have that due date of August 29th, assignment 1, getting started. That gives you about 4 or 5 days to get in there and do it. It's set up kind of like a survey or a quiz, sort of. It is graded. However, I'm extremely lenient on the grading for this. What assignment 1 is about is basically just seeing what you remember about your last statistics class. That's it. And most people miss a lot of stuff, but they still end up passing or doing okay on this getting started assignment. But what it does is it tells me what we remember and what we know so we can start our review. It also helps you kind of figure out maybe where you're a little rusty and where you remember some things. So don't take it too seriously, just do the very best you can. And you'll get a score even just for completing the darn thing. And then we'll move on into statistics review, because I basically plan on you forgetting everything you've ever learned about statistics and starting right from the beginning again, because for some of you it's been a long time. The last thing you need to do for the next week and a half or so is your plagiarism assignment. Now, some of you have had me in other courses or have had me previously, and you may have already done this. That's fine, as long as you've taken my class in the last year. You don't have to redo this. You can just send me a copy of your plagiarism assignment certificate showing me that you completed the anti-plagiarism quiz and that you remember how to make sure you cite things properly. That's it. So it's a pretty easy week. Most of the other weeks we're going to be jumping into labs. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you week 2 so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to scroll back up to week 2, and you'll get kind of the structure of how this class is usually organized each week. So I'm going to go into week 2, the criminal justice research process. And again, we have our objectives, our readings, okay? These are just kind of basic readings that you want to just familiarize yourself with and skim. And then you have your videos. So these start to show you some of the things we're going to be doing in SPSS. Some of the basics, and you'll be able to do those videos. And then you have your famous assignments tab. That's where the plagiarism assignment lives. And then you actually have a new tab over here called lab. Now remember, this is a 4-credit class, and you're going to be spending a little more time on this class than you would in other classes to complete your labs. So basically, you have 3 credits of learning and lecture and 1 credit of lab. That's exactly how this class is taught on campus. So I build that into your week to get done. So here we have step-by-step help with Lab 1. This video kind of walks you through how to do Lab 1 click by click. So one little tip I will share, and I'll remind you of this later as well, is it's easy for students to have their laptop open and they're running their software and working through a lab, and then sometimes they'll have me in the lab video on a separate monitor or on an iPad or tablet or even on their phone. So that way you can have your earbuds in and you can kind of hear me talk you through the steps while you're working on your lab on your main screen on your computer. So that's kind of something that students found helpful, is a way to be able to do both at the same time so that they can be guided through a lab, which I do a lot of the time in this class. I'll talk you through where you click, and you can always glance at the screen just to make sure you're in the right place. So this class really feels like a workshop, like you're learning how to use software and you're learning how to do some basic and advanced things in SPSS in order to analyze data. So in any case, that is essentially what the class is going to be like. Let me answer a few more questions that have come up. If you go back to home and then we look at the syllabus, a few people have asked some questions in here. I do have a TA for my other classes, but not for this class. So most of your questions about this class are going to come directly to me. This is a required course for your degree, and I want to be very involved with what you're doing. Some of the things we do will be self-scoring, and other things you'll be getting comments from me. So as we scroll down, you see that you do have required software. So you can use version 24 of IBM SPSS Statistics Grad Pack. We call it the standard grad pack is the one you need. Or you can use version 25. They change versions about every 6 months to a year, but as far as the user experience, it's pretty much the same software. So it doesn't matter if you use 24 or 25. You could even use version 20 or 18 for that matter, and it would still feel very much the same. Now remember, this is a free piece of software that is covered in your student fees with apps.ufl.edu, and I walk you through how to do that in some of our first labs and so forth when you're getting set up. There are a few little pieces that have to come into place as you launch this software on apps.ufl.edu for the first time. You have what's called a Citrix receiver that's going to be kind of a server that hosts you on a virtual desktop. So you may have a couple settings to get in place the very first time you use it, but after that you should be fine. So that version on apps.ufl.edu is a great version to use for class. Or if you are more comfortable just buying the software and installing it on your machine, you can buy it from onthehub.com, and I have a whole video about how to do that. So again, the last 5 versions that SPSS has released are all pretty much the same. There is almost zero difference. This blue button is now yellow. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. So that answers the question about software versions. And then some of you will notice that I'm kind of redoing my grading a little bit. So here are the grades you're going to be getting. All the labs, the research paper, the assignments, and the paper itself is most of the grade of the class. So that's where you want to spend your time. We really start kicking that into high gear around midterm. And I let you write sections of this paper as we go, and I give you feedback, and you want to actively be constructing the paper during the course of the semester. Okay? So the grading scheme you'll see is a little bit softer than I've used in the past, so I'm trying to keep grades pretty straightforward. So I'm getting rid of kind of the A- grade. If you get a 90 or better, you get an A. This is often considered by many a very difficult course because of the fact that it's 4 credits and it has labs and you're doing statistics and research and it's got a lot going on. And you have to write this big paper that's between 15 and 20 pages at the end. This is kind of the biggest paper you've ever written in your career at college. So I thought, well, we can massage the grades a little bit. So this is a little bit lower grade tally. So hopefully it'll help people do a little bit better in the class. Usually I don't get complaints when I lower the bar for an A. So you also probably noticed up here we have the Gordon rule. Okay, this is a state of Florida legislature rule that requires you to complete research, writing, and math, formerly known as the Gordon Rule. So this is a requirement at all universities in Florida that you write substantial research and writing totaling 24,000 words or more. So often this is accomplished over several courses, but it is definitely a requirement for this course, and I actually have to indicate that when I submit final grades to the registrar that you met the Gordon Rule requirement for the state of Florida legislature. I know, right? All kinds of extra things to think about. Okay, so again, best way to contact me is through Canvas message or email, but you are welcome to use Google Voice. I have students call me all the time. We talk. We can talk at night and on the weekends. Please don't be shy. This course is loaded, and you may need to ask a question in real time rather than email so you stay on task. I do have some accommodations that I'm setting up for students, and I'm in the process of doing that, so please be patient with me and I'll have that in place for you. But just follow the semester schedule. I'll try to give you a quick video each week just to keep you on task or notify you of any changes. And other than that, welcome to class. And I hope you enjoy learning about research and stats. You are going to be so skillful at the end of this class. It'll be something that I feel you'll be very proud of. So I will come back to you in my large frame. And again, don't be shy. Please reach out. I pride myself on making statistics easy to learn in layman's terms, being non-technical about it. I actually used to be a technical trainer, software trainer in another life, so I'm very comfortable talking with students click by click and working through menus or troubleshooting an error that they have. That's perfectly fine. We can do that. So don't feel like you're showing me the mistakes you're making. You're actually just figuring out how to do it right. So have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you in email, in your assignments on the phone, and we'll talk again next week. Bye-bye.